and welcome to Crafting with Jane. Today we are going to be doing something very different for me, out of my comfort zone, but I thought that I would start an art journal book. I'm wanting to do more with mixed media and playing around with ideas and things, so I bought myself this spiral bound watercolor. It's Daler Rowney little book, not particularly, it's about 8 by 5, yeah, about 8 by 5, so it's not a huge one, but I thought it was big enough for me to have a go, and I thought that I would show you the process. So I'm planning to do sort of one a week of an art journal. So I have taken, this is a piece of fun foam, because I thought, well, if I'm going to be doing lots of things in on here, then if I put this in underneath, it's then not going to seep through to the paper underneath, and I'm going to do sort of one, and I'll see how it warps and what have you, to see whether I need to do something else. So this is the first one in the book. I've decided I want to do the first one in yellows, and it's going to be sunshiny, that sort of feel, and I wanted some bees, so I've taken a bee from an old Retard set, Dragonfly Dreams, and I've got some yellow papers that I've just sort of had in sort of a stash thing. So I thought I fancied doing the bee in, I think I'll do him in this sort of pale yellow actually. So I'm going to just stamp a couple of bees out and then leave them to dry while we work, and then I can just cut them out to go in sort of at the end to just give a little bit of something. So I'm using VersaFine because it is a very fine ink, and I'm trying to save as much of the paper as possible. Oh yes, that looks lovely actually. Now I might do 3 because 3s are good numbers. If I keep, if I don't use it, I will then keep it in a little scrap bag of yellows. Let's put that one down there. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side because it does need a while to dry, and I don't want to be waiting around for it to dry. I'm just going to get something to clean that stamp with, because I really don't want to be messing about with the stamp getting a bit grubby. So let me get myself sorted, and then I'm just going to clean this one off. Okay, so that's that. And I think that's probably the only stamp I'm going to use, maybe. I'm not sure. So I want some, I'm going to have a bit of torn paper in there. I quite like this one. And I think I'm just going to do, have a piece, I think, sort of like that. I think that might work. And then this is quite sort of orangey. Let's have a piece that way. And I'm just tearing these to just give a bit of colour in here. And it's a matter of going for it. Now I've got this just wet glue, and I think I will probably just use that and see how that works. I might have to use Tombow, but I think this sort of glue might work for something. So I'm going to take this one just down at the bottom and just put that in. Oh, no, you see, that does seem to be okay. As I say, this is all an experiment. I'm experimenting with you, so you can see this is my beginning journey into doing an art journal, and it's going to be sort of mixed media because I want to have, you know, mixed media ideas and things on there. So do I want some more? I quite like this bright yellowy one here. That's quite nice, isn't it? Maybe I'll just have a little piece of that up at the top. I'm only tearing one side because then the other piece sort of acts as a bit of a frame. So I'm going to take one piece up on there, I think. Let's see what that's like. I say some of these papers are very, very old, but these are little sort of scrappy ones. And I thought, well, it'll give me an idea to do something. Okay, I think that's probably going to be that for now on there. Now I want to do some, I'm going to do some stenciling, but I want to do some colouring as well. So I've got my water brush and I need to have some yellow to sort of go across on here. So I've got some of my re-inkers out here. I've got all sorts of things, and I thought I would just have a go at just putting some colours and things on here. So I've got and this is where I don't know whether you'll see it or not, maybe just in here. I've got a little mat here, which is just down on the side. If I bring it into there, you should be able to see it. And I've got some black and I've got some white acrylic. I haven't got gesso, but I think acrylic will work. And acrylic is easier to get hold of than gesso. You don't have to order it online or anything. So I'm going to mix up. Let me just take that so that that comes. I'm going to put that so it comes to there. Put that so that comes to there, so you can see me mixing things on here. So I have got some So Saffron. So I'm just going to put just a drop on my mat, maybe 2 drops. And then I'm going to add a lot of water to it. So I've got my aqua painter, because then that I can just add quite a few drops, because I want it quite loose and wet, because I just want to add some colour in. So I'm just going to sort of take it from here and just see, just round in on here. Taking it up on the lines on here, because that just gives it a bit of yellow. And I'm literally just spreading it across. You know, there's no sort of rhyme or reason in here at the moment. So I've just used up all of that to just bring in a little bit of yellow on here. Just need to get I've got a little bit of kitchen roll, so I can just wipe up that, because I'm using, as I say, this plasticated mat, so I can just add and put colours and things on. Okay, so now I think I want to do, this has got some nice sort of splots on here. I think I'm going to use some of those, because I think that they will work quite nicely. So if I use that, I need to have an ink, a pad that will fit that. Now I know you can do things without using a block, but at the moment I'm wanting to use things with blocks, I think. So I'm going to put that on there, and then I've got to look and see colours. So I want yellows. So I'm just taking out 3 different yellows that I've got. So I've got a So Saffron, I've got a Daffodil Delight, and I've got a Bumblebee. That's quite a nice sort of goldeny yellow. So I think I'm going to go with the So Saffron, because that's the same colour as the ink pad, the ink that we used. And I'm just going to take some of this And I think I'm going to do, I want it to come sort of that way, I think. Oh yes, that's nice. I'm just putting it so that it sort of comes halfway up and halfway down, like that. And I might even just have one coming in there at the bottom. Oh yes, I quite like that. Okay, so that's that colour. Then I need, excuse me for just hanging off of here a minute. I'm going to do, so I've got my bees to come in right at the end to give something. I want to now add some stenciling, I think. So let's take, this is going to be the darker colour. I've pulled 3 stencils out. I've pulled Brickwork, because I quite like Brickwork. This sort of diagonal one, I don't think that one works, or this one. I think I'm going to have brick actually, just as something that's a bit different, because I fancy that sort of like little brick look. But as I say, it is all an experiment. It's just one sheet and it will come out how it'll come out. And it'll either look fantastic or it won't, but it's the first one. And I hope it will give you a few sort of ideas and inspiration to either do it on a card or something like that, or however you want to do it. So I'm just going to take some of this and just bring it in just like this. Now I'm making sure that it's not precise on here. It's literally just, oh, that's quite nice. I think I might have had another colour in on here and I didn't wash it very well. But I think that, and I'm just going to do another bit in on here. Now, you see, I'm doing more on the sides than the front, aren't I? Which is a bit sort of interesting, but I'm just going to have a little bit down on the centre. Now, I obviously didn't clean this one, so whatever colour I had underneath is underneath, but I don't think it matters that much. I will clean it now, though. I'm going to put it to one side and make sure I do clean it. Okay, so I've brought some other stamps as well, which are, you know, I've been using them quite a bit. So I've got Gorgeous Grunge, which I love. So I want some of the sort of the spotty things on there. And I've got some of these ones as well, which I think are quite nice. I do like, I'm going to have some of these lines actually on this one, because I haven't done those before. So let's take those, and I'm going to do that in the yellow. So let's just have a line like that. And then I think I'm going to have one coming across like that. Maybe one up in the centre like that. That's quite nice, I think. Probably a little bit uniform, but you know, it'll work, I think. Now I want to have some splats and things, but I want to have those in probably in a different colour to sort of tie it in. These have got little spotty things on, haven't they? They might work quite well because we've just done this one with the spot. I'm hoping it's going to go in on there just a little bit. Right, let's take another. I might take a bit of an orange actually, because there's a bit of orange in there, isn't there? Let me find an orange one, or an orangey one. Okay, let's have a bit of Calypso Coral, I think. No, Crisp Cantaloupe this is. Which is an old one, but a good one. So I'm going to put that in like that. Oh, that's quite nice. Maybe in there. maybe down like that. That's better, isn't it? That's quite nice and gives a bit more colour. Right, I'm just putting these out. I'm going to clean them all at the end, I think. Now, I do like that sort of flowery one. I haven't used that one before, have I? I'm not sure how bright it's going to be. We'll just have a little go on this and see what this is going to do. So I'm going to take, doesn't really matter where I'm going to put it, does it? Like that. That looks fine. Now I need to make sure that this is sort of all coming in together a bit. And this is where I need to use, I'm going to use some of this white acrylic paint. So I'm just going to let's move some of this out of the way because I've got bits and stamps everywhere. So this is just white acrylic paint because I haven't got any gesso. And I've obviously had this upside down because I've got bits coming out. But I just want, a bit too much on there. It came out before I'd even thought about it. Okay, so I've just put a little tiny blob on there, which you can see. And I'm going to add lots of water with my, in fact, I'm going to put the water this side like that. So I can just take a little bit of this and put it in, because I want it to be quite wet. Okay, now I want to just take this over on here. Just maybe a little bit darker. That's better. So I just want to just soften it down a bit. So it's not quite so what do you call it, so that it's not quite so defined on these edges. I want these edges to sort of just blend in a little bit, and I'm taking this more in the actual colour now rather than adding too much water. So I've got a little bit of water, but not a huge amount. And I'm just doing it to tone it down a little bit on here, because I think that that will just make it. I'm going to take some in on here as well to just tone that down. Because I don't want it too sort of bright in on there. Okay, I think that's about right. Now I'm going to get my heat gun out actually, so I can dry it off in between. So I'm just going to get that, but it's starting to look okay. I think it's sort of coming together. As I say, this is a complete experiment, but I thought, you know, I've done stamping for many years now, and I want to try different things. So I'm just going to give that a quick just dry off a bit. Now it's going to warp the paper on this. You can see how it's starting to warp it a bit, but that's fine because I'm just going to take the other side and hopefully just dry it off enough on there that it's not going to be too bad. Okay, that's probably going to be enough for now, because as I say, I would normally leave it to dry in most things, but I want to be able to carry on with you guys. So I'm going to take some kitchen roll. Says me wandering off into the kitchen. So I've got that on here, just so I can wipe up this little bit on here, because I don't think I'm going to need any more white. I might do, so I might leave it there. But what I want to do is I want to add some different textures and things on here. So I'm just taking this, cleaning this brush up, which it's all water based, so I can clean it quite easily. So I've got my water brush on there, and then I've got all sorts of bits and pieces here that I've got that I thought. So I've got some of these are the thing stuck over it, so I can't see what it's called. Liquid pearls, and that's daffodil. So I thought I'd use some of that. I've also got some yellow Brusho, and I thought I might just have a tiny little bit of Brusho in on here. Not a lot, just a tiny bit. So I think I'm going to put just a little bit of water in on there first, and then I just want just a little bit, just in that centre bit, I think. Just like that. And then we'll have another bit down on there. So I'm just adding that in like that. So I only want a little bit, because it's all going to add to the textures, and you can see that starting to run. I want to just get a little bit of mist from a height, just like that, so that it just starts to run just a little bit, which I think will be quite good. I'm just going to just heat it just a little bit on there. Oh, that's quite good. I've got some runs of the ink as well. Turn that off a minute. I can see there's a little run of ink there, so I'm going to add just a little bit of that yellow down there, I think, and a little bit up on there where there's a little bit of water. You can see how it just sort of runs quite nicely, and I think that that adds to it. So I'm just going to dab that off a bit. I don't want it to be too overly bright. I just wanted to say a little bit on there. I'm just going to take that off just a little bit. So that's nice. That's got a bit of colour coming through on there. Now, while that dries, I'm going to cut out my butterfly, my bumblebees. Now, what on earth have I done with those? Those are in on there, aren't they? I stamped them and I moved them out of the way to dry, didn't I? So where have I put them? They must be about somewhere, mustn't they? Right, let me just have a little look where I put them. There we are, bottom of my papers. Okay, so I'm just going to take some fine scissors and use whatever your favourite scissors are. I've got a couple of pairs. These are a little pair of old sewing scissors that I had, which I just really like. So I just fancied some of that. So I'm just going to take this one out. Like that. I'm quite enjoying this. I say it. I like to do things that are a little bit different, and I'm not really into journal making, but I do like the idea of doing an art journal. So it's just a book that I can then look back on and see how it's the same as cards sometimes, you know, I keep sometimes some of my cards and then look back on them and go, oh dear, didn't really like that. Or I go, oh, I really liked that. Wow, I was in a really good creative mood that day. And, you know, I send most of my cards, but I do keep the odd one or two that I go, oh, I really liked that idea or that technique, or but then I don't really do anything with them. So I suppose this is a bit like a, you know, a little art journal. You can keep it as you want, can't you? So yes, oh yes, that's going to look really good. Okay, so we're going to have, I think we're probably going to have 3, but I might only have 1 because I'm starting it. I don't want it to start looking like a card rather than a journal page, and I don't really know what the difference is. I think you do what you want on there, so I am doing what I want, and just taking, you know, colours and things that I like. But I am going to add, I know I've said it's going to be yellows, which it is the majority of it, but I am going to finish it with a little bit of black splots because I think that that will work quite well. And then I'm going to add some of the liquid pearls and anything else that I might have in my bottom box that I've actually taken out of its cabinet and put it on the side, because I've got all my ink refills in there, which are great for doing something like this because you can then use the actual inks quite nicely and you get that sort of tone at the bottom. So I'm just cutting these ones out because I want to have, I think I want to have 3. I always do if I'm doing things in drawing and or card making, we always say do it in 3s because 3s go together. So I think, and I suppose with art journaling you can do whatever you want really, but I thought that it would be quite nice to do just 3 B's in there. But then I do want to have a little bit of, I think I'm going to have a bit of black in there, and I might do a black stencil that will then just give the bees something to sort of work with, as it were, because this is the only bit that's black. So I want to tone in, and I quite like black with colours because it then just sort of brings it all together a bit, doesn't it? But I might do, rather than stenciling, which I think might be a bit dense, I might just do some splatters. And instead of doing splatters that aren't uniform, I love this one. Gorgeous Grunge is my absolute favourite stamp set from all time, and it's the sort of thing that you can then tone it all in together. So let me just get my black out, and I'm just going to put some right across everything. Whoops. You can see now how it's whoops, starting to look really nice. So across on there, so it comes through and just ties everything in together. And it doesn't have to be everywhere, but it just is enough to bring it in together like that. Now that's beautiful, really like that. Okay, so these are my little bees, and I don't think I want to do anything with them at all because they are maybe one like that, and then we'll have, shall we have one flying up that way? I think maybe they should all be in the same direction. No, I want to have that one that way, don't I? Because I want it to be coming into the centre of the page. So this one's going to be coming up down like that. So I'm going to stick those on. I think I'm going to do those with my Tombow because I think that works a bit better. So I'm just going to take those bits And then we'll have him just sort of facing up that way. And we'll put this one in here. Now you see again, I don't use yellows very often, but I think that this works quite well. And then we'll have this one up down here. Like that. Put that one in. Okay, so those are my bees. And I want to put some words in there as well, but I'm going to have them now. I cut out, I've used one, but I think I've got these. I think this one is imagine, dance in the rain, jump in puddles, dream big, run barefoot, wish on a star, lie in the grass, ride a roller coaster, fly a kite, believe in fairies, live life. I think lie in the grass would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Because it's sort of a sunshiny one. So I think I'm going to have lie in the grass. Now, if you want to know where this one came from, I've had it forever and a day, but you can still buy it. It is from, let me just get it out so we can see. It is from, I'm looking through. Okay, it is from Inkylicious. Clear polymer, and it's got all of those words, and as I say, you can cut them up as you want. If you go into Inkylicious, I bought this in 2014. So you can tell how long ago that was, but you can still buy it today. So if you, I don't know whether they ship abroad. These are British companies that I have bought different things from at craft fairs, but I'm wanting to, you know, show you more ideas and more companies and things, because there is so much out there that I think sometimes you get, I certainly do, I get blinkered with one particular brand, and then I don't look at anything else. So I'm making sure that I have. Now, do I just have it? Do I split it up, or do I think I might split it up a bit actually. So lie. In the grass. I think that looks nice, doesn't it? Okay, so let's just glue these down. I think it's easier for me to do it with the Tombow with little pieces. Like that. Like. I think this is looking quite good actually. First one that I've done, says me blowing my own trumpet, but I am actually quite enjoying this. I think to do one of these once a week will really sort of hone my skills a bit. And as I say, you know, you can take these ideas and put them onto cards if you want, or start an art journal with me, you know, and just we'll do one a week and literally see how it goes. And you know, you can turn round and use what you want. I was going to say, so the first one, this first page is yellow. So whatever you've got that you can do with yellows, papers, stencils, anything you want, but with a yellow theme to it, and then anything else, so that, you know, if you've got lots of yellow flowers, sunflowers, things like that, you could do that. And I'm literally just putting it down on the centre like that. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Okay, so that's there. Now I've got these little dots which I quite fancy. In fact, I've got quite a few different colours, haven't I, that are in yellows. What's this? So that's sort of a gold. That's like a bronze, and that's a bright yellow. So I'm going to add some of these because I quite like the idea of adding these. I'm just going to make sure that I can get them out first, and they come out easily. Yes, that comes out okay. So I'm just going to put some of these little pearls on, and I'm just dotting them about in threes because I just fancied them in threes. And then it's going to have to be left to dry like that. That's nice. I like that. A little bit of sparkle on there. Now let's see what this one is. And I don't know, some of these might be too old. I've had these for such a long time. See if we can get anything out. Oh yes, no, there's something coming out of the top of that one. Just make sure it's not completely dry. No, that's fine. So I'm just going to add one to this one. You're going to stick there. One to that one. One to that one. One to this one. Oh, it's coming. It's not easy to come out. One down in on here. It's probably going to come out in a big splodge in a minute. But I just wanted to have that in there. So that's the brown one. And then this one is gold. So let's have a little look on this. See if that's going to come out. I think it will. What I need to do is, if you find that these blocks, as I say, I haven't used this for a very long time. I mean, we're talking years. So I thought if you get a little pin and you put the pin down in and then pull it back up again, and if you can't pull it up, my fingers aren't very strong, so I have a pair of pliers and I just pull it out that way because then I know I can do it. And then this is going to now come out quite nicely, I think. It's going to come out on the little bit. Oh yes, look at this. Quite a big one. So I've got the different colours coming in. Like that, and I might just add some other ones in here because this is sort of a goldy colour, so it just pins in. I need to make sure that I add it through onto the papers so everything's coming in together. There we go. That's got that on, and I think that is probably, says me looking and seeing, have I got anything else that I can add? I think that is probably it for that one. So I'm just going to bring it up a little bit so that you can see it closer. I can take that out at the back. Now you can see it didn't come through too much, but I wanted to make sure that it didn't warp the next page underneath so I could use it. But I'm going to just pick that up so you can have a look. And this is my first art journal page. So let's bring it down so you can see the whole thing. And I'm quite proud of that. Lie in the grass with the bumblebees in the sunshine. And as I say, I think that that's quite a fun one. So hope you enjoyed that. I am going to write on there the date, and I might actually do a black line just to go round it. We'll see. But I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye-bye.